See, so far what we have seen up to the chapters 18th, afterwards we have not given a brief. He was from Ravana's, because palace when we came, and because the chapter Sarga 15 was very important, as we have seen, he was able to just to see a person who could be Sita, because she was just ethereal beauty, concealed, in the agony and anger, because a frail body. She could make out she could be Sita. That's what, he still had a doubt. The vestige of doubt, last vestige of doubt also removed when he saw all her, because the jewels which he could identify, which Rama has told Hanuman, he could all of them have been tied in a nearby branch or the Sinchupa tree. Under the Sinchupa tree in the Ashoka Vanam, she was sitting there. After seeing that, because he got, so enamored, and he was wondering, how could such a embodiment of virtue, Mula Prakriti, who is here in this birth as Sita, she could undergo such a suffering. How Rama could afford, when I am feeling as an intermediary, as a Duta, because when I am feeling so much pain, what could be the pain of Rama, because that's what he was just seeing at that time. So after he seeing, because as he was going through, and because then he was seeing, she was being protected by, she has been guarded by all type of sort of a grotesque looking, because all deformed, all sorts of, because the people who can give you sort of make you, feel desperate, because they have such a anger, they are surrounding her. And she was a simple, like a deer in the pack of wolves, because she was there at that point of time. As he was about to see how could this can happen to such a wonderful and virtuous person, as he was thinking, then he could hear the voice of Vedas being recited in the Lanka, because it is the sublime and ridicule, because we have got both in ourselves, because the same Lanka where people are of, because the all impious passion, because all the impulsive reactions, they are there. At the same time, they are also getting the virtuous one, who can conduct themselves, as per the Dharma. And because as he was seeing, because people were reciting Vedas and they are following, all the rituals, and they are sort of going by what is Dharma. One of the things that has been brought about beautifully with the commentators is that Vibhishana, who is also one of the same, because he is born from the same mother, Kaikashi, because in the Vaishravas is the same father, because Ravana is also born. But when Vibhishana was born, his mother, because was trying to find, how he could be, such a fine person, because she was, as he was growing, she could see. And Vaishnava said, because of his past deeds in the earlier birth, all the earlier birth, whatever the great deeds Vibhishana has done, he will be a Dharmatma. And he is such a pious person. Brahma wanted to give him a boon. He asked, the boon that any point of time, even, when there is so much of a trouble and difficult time comes, he should be able to be holding on to Dharma at any cost. That's what Vibhishana wanted, and Brahma granted that. And Kaikashi, the mother of Ravana, as well as Vibhishana and Kumbhakarna, she knew he will be such a pious and dharmic person. This has been brought in Uttarakandam also. This has been brought in, because the earlier Kanda also it has been brought about. That shows how in the same, because mother can produce a virtuous person as a vile person. Both of them can come out of the same womb. That has been shown. As they were going about, because then, this entire, because it brings out a lot of varieties of whatever, we could not learn from the scriptures. They have also been brought in Ramayana, in the Apastamba, because he says, when the Vedas are being recited there, he said, because what is the way to recite Veda, because that is brought about in this Sarga. We have recited that verse. It says, because you can recite the Veda in the night also. But the night, because can be divided into 4 yamas. The first you 2 yamas you can recite the Veda. The last 2 yamas, you should be sleep. You should go for sleep, and you should give rest to the body. Because unless your body is fit, you will not be able to follow the yama, niyama, and all whatever it comes in your yoga. Yoga, you will have yama, niyama, asana, one of the other, because everything comes, because dhyana, dharana, and pratyahara, samadhi, and all those things it comes. The same thing, because I said in the night also you can do those apastamba, what is being, because we might have heard about apastamba sutra. The apastamba is the one which prescribes all the ritualistic procedures, including whatever we are doing, the Pitru Karyas, as well as whatever we are doing and what are all the eligibilities, everything is taken. In fact, we have already touched upon one of the aspects. When Sita was, he was waiting, on the river bank, for Sita to come for her evening oblations. Whether ladies could do the oblation, one of the things, that has been discussed by a lot of commentators, even being discussed in the course of discussions, but it is very clearly said they can. Even, because they have not been ordained, with Upanayana and all, because even once they get married, whatever marriage, the Vaivahika mantra, whatever is being, once it is spelled out, because she is helping her husband to follow all those things. That is her dharma. Once she does it, she is as good as performing whatever you are performing. In fact, you might have heard, because colloquially, because whatever you are earning, the punya half goes to your wife. And if she, because inadvertently commits something, it comes to you fully. So it's not being said because she's sacrificing so much and she is eligible for that. That is why, because even in some cases, because it has been very clearly written in our Shastras, there is no prohibition for the ladies not to perform anything. Even, when some of the ladies were asking, because look, I don't have a brother, I don't have any, because they want to do the careers for my father, because the Shastra says they can do it. So when we do Shavyam and Apachavyam and all that they can do is they can take a pure white cloth and put it on the left shoulder and right shoulder. They can do it is very much there, but by practices and because maybe it's messaging because all the domination the because of the domination of the gender because it has lost, but it is very much given. That has been discussed by the commentators also as they were doing it and as Vedas were being recited and all. Even he himself, Ravana himself, is all the four Vedas he knows. He's recited a beautiful, because Shiva Tandakam, because he was recited when he was holding the entire Kailasha. He has done. But despite that, what it shows, you may be a Pandita, but still, because if you don't have Antakarana Shuddhi, if you are not able to have your intention as pure as because what we have seen in all the Upanishads, particularly in Katha Upanishad, because which I said, even the very first mantra of Isavasya Upanishad, Tena Tatyena Bunjitaha, because whatever you have, you be happy with it. Don't try to covet. Don't try to covet others' wealth, others' wife, anything, you should not do. In fact, as luck would have it, Maricha, who has come in the form of a deer, to entice, Sita, because golden deer when he comes, he himself tells in that, because in this particular thing, because the highest sin is to covet someone's wife. Because he is a dharmic. Maricha is a dharmic. Though he has done, because of his gratitude to Ravana, he has taken the same. He has says that. When Maricha says, it has been quoted that, because this is the place in Janasthana. When Rama went after, the deer and all, because in Janasthana, he killed as a single man, as a single Rama, he killed all the 14,000 Rakshasas in Janasthana. From the same Janasthana, because she was abducted and brought in. That's why we will also see in the subsequent, because as we go about Sita, just how she curses him and all. So but of course, what happened was he was so much enamored, so much infatuated. His impious passion has not allowed him to give the power of discrimination. And when Vinasha Kale Viparita Buddhi, when it comes, your intellect fails. But the intellect doesn't fail. Your mind fails the intellect. Even if the intellect says it is wrong, your mind overlooks. Look, now I want it. Why can't I get it? That's why people are going after the Godfathers, not the God. You are trying to find this man can solve my problem. That man can solve my problem. The astrologers can solve my problem. In fact, there is a particular episode in the scriptures. Parvati has cursed all the astrologers that you will not be able to say anything perfectly unless you have the right intuition. The right intuition you will have only when you are having a total devotion. In fact, one famous astrologer in the south, Kaliyur Srinivasacharya, he said there could be only 5 questions that can be reasonably found out by astrology. They are Josium. He said Josium is the word for in Tamil for astrology. Rest of it are Hasium. These only sort of you try to because you try to sort of bring out this could be possible, that could be possible, need not necessarily be true. So likewise, because that everyone has got that intuition, but unfortunately, impious passion and infatuation doesn't get you the intuition. Even the Ravana is capable of getting the intuition. He has got all the qualities, and he, in fact, because he has done so much of a tapas. If tapas is there, because he is none to second. He has come from the great, because the Pulasya. Pulasya is considered to be one of the one of the revered, because rishis in our Sanatana Dharma. He has come in that lineage, because therefore, because there is nothing wrong with him. It is the attitude. It is what it says. However great you may be, however learned you may be, unless you get into that the impious vision, infatuation, nothing will bring you out. As he was about, and he came to, and she was wondering, because he comes to meet Sita, because he has, but one thing all said and done, he has never, because though he had, because in his entire, he had so many wives, so all the beautiful ones, celestial ones, everyone was there. He has never had anything, against their will. That was perhaps one of the principle he had. He said that I will not touch you unless, because you yourself have will. But he was trying to cajole her. He was trying to sort of entice her, with all his wealth, power, and all, and trying to ridicule Rama, because he's in the forest. Well, he is just wearing a bark and with arrows, what he can do. But he has forgotten the same Janasthana where he is abducted. He has single-handedly killed 14,000 Rakshasas. So as he came about, and because then when he comes and Sita, just turns him back, and because she was initially frightened, and she was telling why this man, he said, there is no one in Lanka to advise him. There is no good advisor to him. Even if there is a good advisor, he doesn't have the intellect to understand at this point of time. So this is going to befall him as well as the entire race of Rakshasas. Even Lanka is going to find its end. But why? Because she was sympathizing with him. Because what is that? If I can, because just a minute I can burn him into ashes, but I don't have the Rama's approval. This is what exactly she says when he tries to entice her. So after having been, because with his vain, all this argument and all, he gets back, but tells all the Rakshasas who are looking after, cajole her and threaten her, because and he says, because at one point of time, otherwise, I will just cook you into your meal and take it in. Then she says, because I don't want death and I welcome death. I think, because to live like this, because it's not at all worthy of it, because even the death is good enough, So, why can't you do it, because that's what, she challenges. She challenges the Rakshasas who are trying to do and all. As they were trying to do and all in the 27th Sarga, which we recited this week. Trijata, one Rakshasi is there. She is of a sort of a noble-minded one, because she has in the previous birth, she has done so much of a good deeds, and she has come here, by virtue of certain lapse in her part and all, and she has a dream. In the dream, she gets, because the Rama and Lakshmana come in no time, and the entire Lanka couldn't stand, and all the Rakshasas couldn't stand, and the clan is eradicated. The Lanka is being turned to ashes. Nothing is, no trace of Lanka is left. And Vibhishana and his ministers, because they are being anointed to the throne. She has a dream. When she has a dream, as the Rakshasas are trying to sort of cajole and threaten Sita, she says, stop. If you want, you take my, don't touch, Sita, or tell anything and all. If you want, you take me and you cook me into your food and take it. And this is what I have seen, because when Trijata says, all the entire, this Rakshasa clan, they were all bewildered, because fluttered. And what is that, she's telling, none of us will be, they all get into the mode of fear. And they think, because if that happens, why we are doing it, because they themselves have a sort of a realized, what is that forthcoming, events are going to take place. As they were doing all these things, because there are certain Rakshasas, who are still trying to do the thing, and finally they also get frightened. And in that point of time, Hanuman, he is on the branch of Singshuba tree. He says, he will try to find, because perhaps, now it is the right time. He's so happy. He says, he exults. I have found finally what I have come for, and I have found Sita. I have seen her at the place, because nothing that I have done, undergone all these things, finally, for the purpose I have come here, I have achieved. The same thing has been said in Kambaramayanam, Kanden Site. The Kanden Site is nothing but the evocation of what Janaka has said at the time of marriage to Rama. Yam Sita Mamasuta. And she is Sakadharma Charini. You know, she is going to be with you and she is going to be with you in looking after the entire world, in the sense, entire, because the human beings, entire, all the three worlds, will be looked after both of you. That is the indication, the connotation that is there. So once that she has come to know, and he is so much of enamored of that he has achieved, now he has to see how he has to present himself. He is trying to towing the idea of, I can't go and talk to her at the cost of my death, because he can't come out and say. So he just gets behind the trees, thinking what I should do. Since he says, I will sing the entire, because the story of Rama, the glory of Rama, that itself will make her understand. And I have got, he has given me the signage, which has to be given to Sita to identify myself as his Duta. I will do thereafter. Before that, I will be doing everything. I will not be doing like a foolish Duta, because I will not go and present myself, but I will entire give the glory of the entire Rama's glory. That is nothing but a Samkshepa Ramayanam here in the 31st Sarga, which we will see next week. That is a wonderful Sarga. That's why I brought it here close to that. Next week we will see that is again it as good as a Samkshepa Ramayanam as first Sarga of Balakandam. It is Ramayana in brief, it in capsule. Again, it comes up to the point of Sundarakandam. We will see next week. With this, I will conclude today's session. Sahana Vavatu, Sahanau Bunatu, Sahaviryam Karavavahai, Tejasvina Vadidamastuma Vishvidavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. See you next week, Prabhuda.
Okay, Pa. Thank you.
We have come up to 30th, 31st onwards.
I was reading along with the recitation.
Okay.
And that book is very helpful.
In that, because you would have seen, the meaning also you see beautifully they have brought, all the scriptural meaning there.
So,
thank you, Prabhupada.
Thank you. See you then. Good night.
Good night.